We are talking about Strange New Worlds. As it is finally ended, we're going to talk about the Gorn and how the Strange New Worlds Gorn fits with the classic Gorn of TOS's Arena. Shane, what's the haps, my G?
Well, yeah, I don't. What's the haps, G? I love that. Okay. I don't want to, we've been made an interesting, I love the way Strange New Worlds finale ended. Overall, enjoyed the first season. But I really do have a sticking point with the Gorn. And I feel like they just didn't handle this whole Gorn thing correctly. And now we kind of know why. So, according to TrekMovie.com, Strange New Worlds co-executive producer Davy Perez, who wrote All Those Who Wander, which is the Gorn episode, gave an interview to Inverse where he talked about how there's a wiggle room to explain some of the differences between TOS Gorn and Strange New Worlds Gorn, and even covered Kirk's apparent lack of knowledge of the species in the original Star Trek episode Arena, which introduced them, Perez explained. Kirk's idea, and this is what Perez said, Kirk's idea of the Gorn is different from what he is being told by the Metrons. The Gorn he's meeting in Arena doesn't sync with his expectations of them. It was a personal choice I made in my own headcanon that allowed me to have fun with the writing. Are you freaking kidding me?
Can you not break?
So what this writer just said?
Yeah.
What this writer just said was that in his own headcanon.
In his headcanon. Not the actual canon. Right.
Not the actual canon. In the way I see it, is that he could do whatever he wanted with it because Kirk, his version of the Gorn was different than when he actually met them. Like what he thought he was going to see and what he actually saw was different. It was one line in the show.
So the Metrons pulled the idea of the Gorn from his head.
That's what he's saying. So that he could make the Gorn anything he wanted in Strange New Worlds. Not that. No, well, basically what he's saying is that the Arena version of the Gorn are not real.
Well, that's booty.
That is booty. That is 100% booty. So, let's remind everybody, in Arena, a super powerful race named the Metrons transports Captain Kirk and a Gorn captain to a planet where they are expected to fight to the death. Perez's headcanon relies heavily on this single line of Kirk's dialogue from the original episode. Here's the line. I face the creature the Metrons called a Gorn. That's it. That's what allowed him to completely change what the Gorn looked like.
Yeah, so hold up. Then that means that they didn't pull the idea of the Gorn from Kirk's head. That means that the Metrons... what he's saying is ass backwards because he's saying... Oh, well, that was Kirk's version of the Gorn. That's not what the Gorn really look like. Except for, I face the creature as the Metrons call it Gorn. Which means this is the first time he is seeing, right?
A Gorn.
Or even knowing what a Gorn is.
Right. That's the way I read that. That's the way I heard that.
Yeah, that's the way any sane person would read that.
So Perez saw this as an opening. Maybe Kirk has never seen them. He could even be one of those people who still doubts the stories, or even maybe he has seen them and they don't look the same. I think the safest thing to say is we have no idea what the Gorn are really like. So he's saying that this
so dumb.
See, even though we had an episode where we were introduced to this character, the Gorn, he's saying that does not mean that's what the Gorn looks like.
Yeah, that's dumb. Look, why don't you just be honest and be like, look, guys, it was the 60s. Like, we didn't have the tech. We're trying to make them look better because obviously men walking around in lizard suits aren't going to fly. I'm like...
They could have easily... listen.
You can update the look because technology is better. They did it with other things. Plenty of other parts of Strange New Worlds were updated without sacrificing the charm that the original series gave it. You know? Like the whole
Yeah.
ship was updated to look more modern without sacrificing the charm from the original series. Like it looked like an updated version. I don't understand that. Like, just be honest. Like, look, of course we're not gonna have a guy in a suit running around in a lizard suit. But you also can't make them look like praying mantises that spit babies all over the people. That's weird.
I mean, you know what's great? They could have created all of this extra stuff where they lay their eggs in there. All of this stuff works. Like, but what doesn't work is that they are so OP'd that no 10 people can take down one Gorn, right? And that they don't look anything like. I mean, if you scroll back to the top of this thing, top of the story,
It's right here. These are the Gorn Reborn.
No, go back up to the top where they're next to each other.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
They don't look anything like each other.
Well, I mean, they do
One
sort of.
looks like an insect. No, one looks like a grasshopper, and one looks like a dinosaur.
Well, no, I can see that one. I mean, I don't know. They did make him look too insect-like.
I mean, I get that you don't. I mean, they did. They look like insects, and they ran around like insects, and it was a ripoff of Aliens.
Too insect-like. Like they should have made him look more dinosaur-like.
Right. They should have been more dinosaur.
I don't really. The look of the Gorn don't really bother me as much as I think it bothers you, because I don't think we've seen the adult Gorn yet. They made it really clear we haven't seen the adult Gorn, and there's 3 stages to a Gorn: the little baby things, the bigger things, and then the adult one. Right? We haven't seen the adult. We saw the baby, we saw the teenager, we haven't seen the adult, and they're drastically different within stages. So you can only assume that the final form of the Gorn is going to be probably bipedal and not on all fours. However, my problem is how OP they made him. I thoroughly believe that the next stage can look a lot more like the Gorn that we're used to and be more true to form and less adolescent. However, they made them so strong and so overpowered that I don't see how the Gorn don't just take over the entire damn galaxy.
Well, that's my biggest complaint. It isn't how they look. I have the same complaint you do. But, they should have made him look a little more like it, but they got completely away from what this character is that we know. That man for man, I mean, at least 2 to 1. 2 of our Starfleet officers should be able to take down one Gorn, or a Starfleet officer with a phaser, but not 10. I don't understand why they did that, and I don't understand why they ripped off Aliens. It's an obvious rip-off of Aliens.
Yeah, it was super. Yeah. It's very, it's very rip-offy.
It's not at all or anything like. They just didn't need to do that. I mean, it's not an homage to Aliens. This is Star Trek. It's a different science fiction franchise altogether. And
I don't mind borrowing elements from like successful TV shows. Like this literally was like Star Trek presents Aliens.
Yes, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. And the Gorn were the aliens. So yeah, that whole episode I had like a problem with. Like we didn't get to see the adult Gorn, which sucks. And I guess for their sake, I'm very glad we couldn't see the adult Gorn, because according to La'an, an adult Gorn can just murder everyone.
No, not even an adult Gorn. It wasn't. It was at this level that it could take out a bunch of officers. The baby took out a bunch of officers.
Yeah, the baby, like, just straight, like, how does a tiny little baby drag a human-sized person? Like,
a full-grown man.
How is it lifting, like, 500 times its body weight? Like, that don't make no sense, dude.
I mean, I get it, like, ants can lift a lot of their body weight, right? But imagine a man-sized ant. They could lift like a house. So, and Gorn obviously don't have that much power. You can't give them that. I don't know. Anyways, so the whole point is that
even the little babies were like super gnarly, like
right,
arguably more gnarly because you couldn't see them.
Right. Yeah, they're all over the place. I just think that, writers, and this is shout out to all Star Trek writers, you have to create something that's true to the show. And you got to do something that's interesting and creative. But for the love of God, if there's canon for something, then use that canon. And sure, if there's gray areas and you want to expand upon it, then do so. But this Gorn is not an imaginary character made up by the Metrons for Kirk to face. This is the Gorn. And this Gorn right here, Kirk gave him a good fight. So,
Yeah, and again, we're not saying that you need to make it look like a guy in a rubber lizard costume. No. But the adult version of the Gorn should be bipedal, okay, and It should be reptilian. So figure that out. Secondly, the power levels that the Gorn have already been established.
Yes,
so you can't retroactively make them superheroes.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. All right. So listen, on your way to the comment section to tell Shane he's an idiot, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button.
I think Brian, you chooses words to say that he can say how he feels sometimes.
Anyways, subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Let us know what you think about the Gorn.